All right, I'll call this meeting to order at 6:02. It's Wednesday, July 19th. We're in the City Hall Council Chambers, and this is a Historic Preservation Committee meeting. Second item on the agenda is approve the minutes from the previous meeting from June 21st.
Motion to approve.
I wasn't here, so
I'll make a second for the purpose of discussion because I want to raise a point.
Okay.
Motion's
been made and seconded, and we'll have a discussion.
So I just want to be accurate about the North Bennett Street School in Boston. It's not actually a college, it's a trade school.
Oh, okay.
And the reason that makes a difference is that since what we were looking at was craftsmanship, it's sort of different from college education. Having said that, I have to confess I did contact them, and their alumni list is not much good for us because virtually everybody that has chosen to be on their alumni list is in Connecticut, Rhode Island, or Massachusetts. So we make the correction, but only for accuracy's sake. Otherwise, I'm good.
Okay. All right, is there any other discussion on the minutes from the June 21st meeting? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the minutes signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The minutes are approved. Under general agenda items, number 1, continued discussion on the Legion building.
So, may I speak, Mr. Chair?
Please.
So I did double check with the American Legion, and I spoke with John Van Lieshout, who's the commander for the Burns Post. And in fact, the 1981 dissolution that I had referred to in my original draft was the Ladies Auxiliary. The Burns Post is still extant. They are part of the 8 groups that make up the Northwoods Veterans Post. They have about 85 members, and as Commander Van Lieshout informed me, they not only sponsor Legion baseball, but Badger Boys State, Badger Girls State, and they appear at every official ceremonial function in the city of Merrill and most in Lincoln County. So I have made those corrections on my draft that I distributed last month. I am still looking for maybe 1 or 2 more photos. I'm going to contact Sharon Thatcher. I'm told that for a long time she and her husband did the fish fries there after the Ladies Auxiliary no longer was putting on events there, to see if anybody's got any photos to just fill that out, and then I will be done with that and able to present the final version to you.
Excellent.
The photos I see mostly are of the same angle as the front of the buildings.
Yeah, and I'm looking for something like maybe, I have to keep going through chemos. I'm looking for something from inside, people sitting at the bar, people dancing at a wedding or a junior prom. I know some people who frequented that place when when it was a restaurant, and see if we can find somebody who's just got a photo that'll show that inside, and that'll fill out the storyboard, and it'll and I don't know where we go with it once we've got it complete and we approve it, if it goes to you, or I don't know what happens to the storyboard things and what format it has to be in.
It would then go to Premier, which is located up on the big Health Street in Merrill. They are the ones that produce the last ones for us.
Okay.
I don't think it would have to go in front of any committee once you approve it.
Great.
That's our money.
So I think that will be complete by August then.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is an update from the Park and Rec Committee on Legion Buildings use. And if nobody else has an update, I'm going to guess that was probably my job and I forgot.
I don't need to bring that forward anymore.
Well, I'm just actually emailing Dan as we speak.
I attempted to contact him today, couldn't get hold of him.
Okay.
I thought one of them was going to come and meet with us to.
There are cars parked there, but I believe that's library employees that park there.
It's Summer Rec.
Can I speak? Sorry.
Please.
Yeah.
If those are not familiar, this is Hallie Savall. She's our social media specialist for the city of Merrill. And she's going to have a broader range of events today, but she's an expert on this subject. I forgot.
Well, my children go to summer playground. So they park there, but they essentially use Kitchener Park.
Okay.
So they don't use the Legion at all. I do know last year, one day they did go in there when it was pouring rain,
Okay.
and they couldn't get out to business.
So it's their backup, basically, for inclement weather.
Very large backup. They
Yeah.
would have tried to go to the library, but there's something else going on there too. So they didn't use a Legion for that one day.
Okay.
So I don't think Park and Rec actually uses it very often. But I don't know if that gives you any insight or not,
Right.
but know he's getting ready for the softball tournament this weekend.
Yeah. It's true.
Bear with me 1 second.
I've been invited to serve beer at the softball tournament. I've never contemplated being a bartender because I can't usually see over the bar. And if they have glasses hanging up high, I can't get any of them, but they need hands and they're willing to take anybody who's foolish enough to volunteer.
All right, I just wrote an email to Dan saying, can we get an update on what the Legion building is being used for and when you foresee it going in for in the future? I'm not looking for a 20-year vision, just an update for the Historic Preservation Committee.
One sentence would work.
Okay. We will put that on next month's agenda too. There. Item number 2, continue discussion of list of contractors for historic homes and buildings.
So after I contacted North Bennett Street and found that, yeah, I'm probably the only person this far out who gives them my information, nonetheless, I found that the Wisconsin Historical Society does have a list of contractors. Most of them are Milwaukee, Chicago, Madison. And Minnesota's Historical Society also has a list of people who do things like decorative plaster and historic windows and things like that. So there are those things that are out there, and we don't, unless we find a bunch of people close by, that's probably the list that we've got.
I'm thinking it's time we start talking about linking to our existing website,
Okay.
all this information. For instance, we know about the high school had classes where they interviewed individual businesses and homes, and they have 8-minute videos and did some research. Link to that and other things. The website's been redesigned, and we were in it for, I believe the document is in there that we scanned in, the study that was done in 1982.
92, the
92
survey?
possibly, yeah.
The survey
that
of all
is in
the...
there.
Okay, I'm not very familiar with the website, that is
Okay.
more Dustin,
Right, oh, okay, you're probably informed kind of about it.
a little bit, yeah.
But, you know, that'd be the link for us to get into and start with the contractors and the other things we talked about and updating houses. So we
should
need
I-
to begin that conversation.
So should I talk to Dustin, or wait,
What
what would be the next step?
Well, we could put, I don't know if there's a tab on there for the historic preservation or if it would be underneath the building inspector where it's found under the main city website.
It's easier to find than it used to be, I'll tell you that.
Or if it's just under committees.
Okay, but I mean, that's something that we could actually put on the homepage.
How about is there a history tab?
Waiting for it to load.
That would be
Yes,
fun.
there is a history tab under community.
Okay. So maybe if you could talk to Dustin about starting to build links in there, and Elizabeth can go direct with him and provide her information, and that's the things we want to start putting on there. And we'll get into more about our bright ideas in that as well, but that, we can start listing those under that tab.
Yep, under that tab is the Merrill Intensive Survey Report for historical
That's it,
homes.
yeah.
There you go.
So that's down at the bottom, right above the logging.
We scanned in about 500 pages in that study that was done. And then there's about 30, 40 historical homes that were in there with their descriptions, so
Okay.
it's a start.
And at one time, we did reach out to the community, we put something in the phone news and said, hey, if you're a contractor and you think this is your wheelhouse, let us know, and we're still waiting for the phone to ring, so we did try.
It's unusual training, and, you know, it's, everyone says that they can work on this stuff, but, yeah, not always. It's just, you know.
But now that we have it on the website, or we have it more defined on the website, we can start linking more of it. And then hopefully the next item on the agenda will open this door even further. So that is why Hallie is here today, is now that she is here, and we are fortunate that our 3rd district alderman is a gentleman by the name of, the guy with the shirt, Nathan Meyer. And Nathan Meyer is also our media specialist, or prior to that, he was our MP3 guy. So cameras and editing and video and audio, that's his wheelhouse. What he and Hallie have agreed to do, and I can say Hallie, right?
Yep.
Okay, is what I'd like to do is reach out to Sherry. How many houses or buildings do we have on this list? Do we know?
It was like 250 or so, of all the pictures that Steve had
Yeah.
taken.
We went through and then we adjusted the list after that a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start with 10.
50, I'm gonna say.
50? Oh, good.
I thought it
Well,
was a lot more.
A lot more,
That's
yeah.
still a lot.
Yeah, it is, it is.
So maybe we could reach out to 5, because it's a short year.
If we could start smaller, I would like to.
And maybe pick some more prominent buildings in town. And have a blanket letter that I can craft and send it to these property owners and say, listen, we now have a very active historic preservation committee, but we also have what's a growing YouTube page. And what we'd like to do is allow us to come in your home and you can lead the tour, or maybe we can do some background and lead the tour and say, we're going to tour your house, we're going to film it, Nathan's going to edit it, and we're going to put it out on our YouTube channel and on obviously link to the city website and say, these are our historic homes. This is what makes Merrill wonderful. If this is something that you have a house or property that you want to see your property listed here, put on the end of it a little idea to get more people involved. So that is my bright idea, and Hallie says we can make it happen.
I think we could work on this.
Okay.
I think it's definitely got its possibilities. I am generally like the social media. I run Facebook, LinkedIn. I work closely with Nathan Draco and Summit here to run a YouTube channel. We're working on growing that right now. Essentially, I love putting Facebook posts up. I know some people don't, but that's my wheelhouse. And in the last few months, once a month, I've been putting historic facts out. I did like the Three-Stone Bridge or the Arch Bridge, Father Menard Monument, just to name a couple. And those have been my top posts for those months, or at least in the top 3.
Okay.
So I know people like the historical aspect of the city. So if I can get unique places from you guys, or even more information on the old normal school, like something of that nature that I can put on Facebook and just expose history for what it is, I think that would really
Make it sound like it's something nefarious.
well, no, but it's just, I think that would be really beneficial to our page as well, and growing with that. And then I do like that idea of going to the houses and buildings and companies and talking with them as well. We'll talk to Nathan about that more in depth too.
I think you found 4 of the best historians right in this room.
That's why
I know I'm not supposed to ask any
5.
questions or make a comment, however, but do you remember when the Historic Society had the home tours?
Mhm.
Your house was in it, my home at the time was in it. But I remember kind of went to the wayside because a lot of homeowners don't want people to see the inside of their homes.
Right. That was one of the factors in our discontinuing those, which I mean, I always loved visiting. People do love visiting, but honestly, between the amount of work it takes to put on a tour like that, which is huge. It took us 100 volunteers. Many of those were working for a year or even 2 years to get that tour in place. So that's one aspect. But also, yes, we were having a lot of trouble finding people who were willing to open their homes.
But having an outdoor tour is not the worst thing, because let's face it, that sort of guides people to interesting places they can see. I'm always watching this guy Jules in London, who gives all these walking tours. And Jane, who used to give the tours, Jane Francoeur, is she still around? And
She is.
might she be contracted to give a couple of video tours that she might not be willing? I don't know if she's still in business doing this or if she's moved on to that. If she's still in business, she may not want to do it because now she's given it all away for free. But if she's not in business anymore, she might be persuaded for a small fee to give a couple of video tours. If we have some money to work with. Is she still doing those tours?
I think the cemetery tours became a dead end. But then they, actually, I think they kind of cut off after COVID. My understanding is she kind of reached her limit at the cemetery, and I don't know what else she wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I'll pose it to you. If I was, you live in a nice historic home, I live in a nice historic home, I'd rather have 2 people come with a video camera and stand in my June Cleaver pearls and tell them about the house, rather than have 300 people trot through on a Saturday. Does that appeal to you as a historic homeowner?
Well, I guess I would say I would consider it, but at the same time,
It still feels like something that
There's been a change.
Chief Bennett
There has.
and your homeowner's insurance agent will probably say, don't ever do that. Like, go ahead and video it, but don't put it up somewhere. I'm sorry, I know that's your, as you say, your wheelhouse, that's your bread and butter. But seriously, it's what the police tell you not to do, like, oh, isn't that a lovely large screen TV you have, right? Yeah, I mean, and
Well,
so I'm not sure if we,
Times are different than.
And
Yeah.
I like the aspect of, okay, what if we just sat outside on the front lawn and you have your lemonade and you tell us about the house, we show some exterior shots, and maybe you have a picture of your Christmas tree in the living room at Christmas time, you throw it there, and that kind of stuff. I mean, that,
it's well, it's worth trying, you know, here's the thing. We shouldn't say no for other people. We should try it, and if they say no, then we know, right?
We can always try photographs instead of videos as well. People might like that because then it's not giving you an exact
Right.
walkthrough of their house.
I've spotted some houses from our study that were targeted, and within, let's say, a block or two of Center Avenue between 3rd and 6th Streets, there's probably 20 homes on our list. So that can be walked, you know, in just a couple hours. Yeah, so that would be our target neighborhood, I think, for a home tour. And I believe I have it saved somewhere where they're all identified when we get to that.
do I have the blessing of this committee to give the blessing to Hallie and Nathan to work with Sherry and just pick 5?
Give it a shot and see, like.
If we get 2, we get 2. But it's something that we can, it's something that's on YouTube, and at 2 in the morning when somebody's bored, they look up Merrill Scott and go, wow, that's really a neat community. They really have a lot of stuff there. And I agree, not thinking about it is you may not want people looking at what you want in your house. But again, you can use pictures, you can just sit outside and talk.
Right, right.
And who knows if they live there, they might have historical photos that they would be willing to share too.
Right.
And that would be.
Some of those houses have been handed down from generation to generation too. Does anyone have any other bright ideas to expose this committee more thanks to our media specialist? Provide her all the direction you want.
Yeah, actually, so remember a couple of years ago, the library had, during COVID, they had a kind of an escape room game to play on their website that was historic locations in Merrill. And it was fun and everything, but I'm thinking we could do it even more, we could do something like that and create something interactive that you could put up. And I'm not quite sure all of the outlines of it, but I feel like if we've got a gaming generation, we might as well try and create a game that draws people's attention, especially since there's going to be such an intense marketing effort for the county as a whole. It would be really cool if we had something in place that gave people just a little bit of historical excitement, so that when they do get here, they're already looking for cool things.
Where am I in there?
What's that?
Where am I in there?
I like that idea. I'd like even, first thing that comes to mind is taking a picture of a unique window of a house with maybe 2 feet on each side. Find me. Where am I?
Ooh.
Something of that nature would be kind of cool. Like if there's stained glass somewhere. That's,
And then what you do is you put a little description there, what am I? I am a fabulous example of arts and crafts workmanship. I date from 1915. Yeah. I am within the city limits, but in a neighborhood that was originally part of V.R. Willard's addition. Yes. And that, so you give them some of those.
The east.
What's that?
And I face the east.
Yeah, so, something that gives them a little bit of historical background, a little bit of the auctioneer's description. If you were buying this at an auction, what is this piece described as? A rare and fabulous example of blah, blah, blah. And where am I?
Yeah.
And so
I'm more than willing to do the photos if you come back with the information.
You and I will have to get to be friends.
I am all about learning. I love Merrill and the history behind it, but I don't know a lot.
That's fair.
So.
You're young. You haven't lived through it.
Sure.
We're old.
Let me invite you to come to the Historical Society and meet us as well.
That sounds like a plan.
That's probably where you and I will end up meeting, because they got all the goods.
So, we'll, anybody else have anything else?
Well, should we include that in the agenda for next meeting? Any progress on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're willing to come back, come on back. So we're gonna delve into number 3 because it's gonna be a continuation of number 2. So we have 1, 2, 3 more sign placements ready to go. One is set in stone already, November 11th for the Russell sign on Poplar Street. That's November 11th, I haven't had a time yet. The other ones we have is we've reached out to the the Tiny Krieger family. They are well aware of our requests. The one sibling says, I like this bright idea, the other sibling says, I like this bright idea, and I think they got to get together and decide what they want for the bright idea. Anything from a small ceremony to possibly involving some legislatures for that one. So the other item is the signs out back here for the Krieger and the Kurtz sign, which is down in the proper corner. Both those families will be here. It is my goal to get Nathan involved and possibly get a 2-minute conversation with a couple family members. And when we put on that QR code, I'd be more than willing to give a little history, actually for Kurt's, which he's better be the better one, a little history of why his side is his way. Have a family member give a little thing, pictures of him, and then it's all linked to that QR code. Same thing with Owner Krieger. You know, I can retrace his steps and everything that he shot. And the family members, I don't want to age them, but the son is my age. My dad's age, excuse me. So I mean, he's in his late 70s. So we're going to lose that memory in probably 20 years, more for probably Charlie hopes. But those are the kind of things that we can strike when they make the decision when they're going to do it. Hopefully Nathan's available. We can get some videotape and just sit them out if it's little 2-minute interview when they put it together. We don't have dates for any of those sites yet. We're still waiting on them. I did, as I was at my library board meeting, remember, hey, I've never heard back from Rent a Flash about Natalie Scribner's sign.
Oh, okay.
So I emailed them as we sat there and said, what's up with that? I sent you the thing, where is it? And then the Andrew Warren sign is just kind of floating there. That might be a project for next year.
So for the Natalie Scribner, what I was wondering, I meant to talk to Lori about it and I forgot, and just give her a heads up. I would assume that we would invite the director, Lori Olaf. We would invite the immediate past directors. I don't know. I have not done the genealogical research on her. I don't know if there are any family members. I don't know if she had any children. She was married, but I don't know if they had any children. So I don't know family members or descendants. I could set my favorite genealogist on that. He's pretty quick. And if my favorite genealogist doesn't work, her favorite genealogist is at the Historical Society. We'll put Pat on it as well. But I don't know if you had already talked to Lori about it or anything like that, and see if we can somehow tie it into some library event.
Sure.
So
I will let her plan that all, because that's a great idea.
Okay.
And she has the host of volunteers and people there.
right.
The other side is we have a date set for August 7th at 1 p.m., which is a Monday. We're catering to the mayor, which we don't mind doing. That is going to be the cotton board sign. So what the mayor, 1 p.m.
1 p.m., I'm sorry.
August
That's my
7th.
bedtime.
Which is a
Mine too.
So we have spoken to Tom Bird, who has agreed to come to that and give a little presentation, short one, about Hans. But we have also reached out to the Housing Authority and asked for their captive audience of residents to join us so they can learn why that street they are on is famous and what for. So hopefully that will increase the attendance at that event, and then maybe put on a little cookie and punch afterwards. But
And what's the street?
Scott at East First. So Park Board Trophy, do you need the address for that?
I'll just follow my notes.
But that date is set for August 7th, so that means that's the last sign that we had out there besides Scribner and Warren. But that one, the mayor and I picked a date, what worked for him, and we're good to go on that date.
That's the last one? Did we not have one for the Sisters of Holy
Oh,
Cross?
that date is September 14th. Do you have a time off the top of your head?
Nope.
Okay.
About 1 p.m., but I could be wrong.
I can look at my sister. Pam emails. See more.
While you're looking for that, do we have the application for new street signs linked in?
I will get that together and get that to Dustin and link that under our history. 2 p.m. on the 14th. Thank you for reminding me about Sister Anicia. And that is a part of a whole big event up there. And I'm sure we would all be invited if we choose. They're going to have mass, they're going to have a little luncheon, and then they're going to come outside and dedicate the site.
Cool.
And they have some head sisters here from Switzerland, literally the head of the organizations are going to be here. So it's a very big event for them. It's a very big event for the city of Merrill because their 100th anniversary. They're going to be down at the pavilion, also coming up soon.
Yes.
Do you know what day of the week the 14th is? Saturday or Sunday?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
So I'm going to look at. I know that Sister Pam just put something on the Merrill Strolling Down Memory Lane Facebook page about the date and time of the event at the Acre Pavilion. So I'll remind us of that. September 17th from 1 to 4 at the Acre Pavilion is when they're going to have their picture board display to talk about their 100th anniversary. So that's a Sunday. So I'm really excited with Hallie being around and Nathan being around to be our experts on this whole thing, that we can get more exposure to the work of this committee, our historic structures in town, and our history and that kind of stuff. There's also 2 other organizations that are working around us. We all just kind of get together. And the one, of course, is the Historical Society. And the other one is, and I will probably, it's a group of mostly men for the betterment of the city. I can't even think of the name. I know John Greenwood's in there, Mike Robbins in there.
Oh,
AAC.
active and
Aware and active
citizens,
There we
yeah,
go.
there you go.
And maybe we can even olive branch out to them and see if they would like to come to us, to come to our next meeting, and we can all get together. They have produced videos. They have it on YouTube on a couple different structures in Merrill. One being the trophy bar, second plug I gave them. But I don't remember what else they did in town.
They did-
Courthouse.
That I'm not sure, but they just started doing that Discover Merrill hashtag,
Good.
and they have like a walking tour.
Okay.
So that might be something to take a look at. They have QR codes for that as well.
Good.
I love QR. Oh, they're so much fun.
All right, is there any other discussion or questions or updates on the sign placement and media coverage? I will do media releases on each one of those working through Abby. I have a conflict with our next meeting date. It's a Lincoln County Fair.
We all have a conflict.
Sure, I'll be stuck in a snack shack that day. So I will ask the clerk to come up with an alternative date before the week after that doesn't conflict with everybody else's schedule, because I'm sure there'll be. I know the absent member who obviously was distracted by the city band immediately hit me up and said, we didn't meet that day, that's the fair. So unless we're going to move it to the VFW stand.
Do you need an August meeting, or? do
Yeah,
you-
I'd like to, because I'd like to
Okay.
see where we're at with everything. And,
Okay, I'll email everybody with dates.
okay. All right, any other items that are not on our agenda, but we're not, we have no microphones, so we'll break the one.
Yeah, we'll have new ones probably next meeting.
Is there something in the ceiling though, or?
Yeah, the ceiling is for the recording.
all right. Any further discussion? All right, I'll entertain a motion, public comment, excuse me. Is there any other public comment? Public comment? Last call for public comment. All right, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.
Someday.